Father, Lord, I lift my hands in praise to honor you and thank you for your blessings. I thank you for my child. You have blessed me with a child. Ooh, I thank you. A mother's life is full of sacrifice. I wonder how Mary found her strength, but in you is where mine lies. I take a cloud to dry her tears, brave life's cliffs to calm his fears, and if I had to, I'd give up my own life to save my child. A mother's love, my mother's love, my love for my children is comforting, wonderful, a soft embrace, a shield from pain, protection from life's storms. Our joy is in the laughter that we bring, the comfort of knowing that Mother is the meaning of love. Oh, you know it's so hard to express the fear I feel and others feel when parenting. Am I giving all they need? Will their lives be fulfilling? Ooh, Spirit, at least they'll know you. Oh, you know we try so hard, and sometimes we fail, sometimes we hurt our precious ones. Give us strength and mercy too. Oh, we place our faith in you. Please keep us on the path we know we can't go wrong. This is our prayer to you. A mother's love, my mother's love, and my love for my children is comforting, wonderful, a soft embrace, a shield from pain, protection from life's storms. And our joy is in the laughter that we bring, the comfort of knowing that Mother is the meaning of love. But who could predict we would be so important? Who knew we had to be mother, teacher, therapist, and friend, entertainer for our little ones, soft place to follow. Our joy is in the laughter that we bring, the comfort of knowing that Mother is the meaning of love. Yes, our joy is in the laughter that we bring, and the comfort of knowing that Mother is the
Deidrey, that was beautiful. Thank you so much. So it is Mother's Day, and as I have contemplated mothers in my life and the meaning of mothers and this incredible daily word and blessing the mothers of the world, I wanted to bless the mothers that brought each and every one of you into my life, and then brought me into your life. And so I'm also aware that some people have really happy, wonderful, incredibly beautiful and loving memories of mothers, and some people have memories that maybe aren't quite so loving and joyful and happy. And yet the truth is that each and every one of those experiences has shaped us to be the very person that we are today in this unfolding presence of love. And I give thanks for my mother, Wanda, and I give thanks for my grandmothers, Clarice and Merle. But then I think of the blessing of my life and to be able to walk beside this incredible community. I am thankful for who is often called Mother Myrtle Fillmore, and the teachings of Unity Church. And in this particular community, I have to say that I have been blessed, and I'm grateful for Lissa, who held the vision of this church coming into fruition. And then most importantly, I think we acknowledge that so many mothers are gone. I have one friend who this is her first Mother's Day where her mother is no longer physically present. And a mother's love leaves fingerprints on our soul, and this church was mothered for so many years, and I believe continues to be mothered by Reverend Beth. And I still feel her presence, but I'm grateful for all of the mothers in my life, including your mothers. And so this morning, as a part of our meditation, I'm going to pass around this microphone, and I invite you to say the name of any person that has mothered you in this journey of life and unfolding of love that you might want to remember in community today. And then we'll pause for a moment and we will celebrate those people. We'll celebrate the mothers in our community today. And then we'll let Deidrey sing to us again. And I know this is a little bit different and maybe a little bit uncomfortable. I'm so glad that I could invite you into the edge of your comfort zone. Who wants to start? Thank you, Carol.
So I come from a very large Italian family, and I had probably 7 or 8 mothers in that family, all keeping me alive, basically. And watching that I didn't challenge all my younger cousins to jump off 15 concrete steps in our roller skates, you know, that kind of thing. So all my older cousins, my grandmother Yolanda, she was my best friend, and my mother Rose, I remember them all today, and I'm here because of them, because they really did prevent me from jumping off the steps.
Well, earlier today I was sitting here and had a very distinct memory of my mother, Carol Meehan, and Jerry was a part. He was raising the blinds, and I raised this blind, and I had a distinct memory. I'm 12 years old. I'm in the kitchen in Newport, and Mom is raising the blinds like she always did every morning, and she's singing, "Let the blessed sun shine in, let the blessed sun shine in." And that used to annoy the heck out of me, but I miss her now. Happy Mother's Day, Mom in heaven.
My mom's in heaven, and she was a wonderful lady. The women in my life have been just blessings. I want to thank Pat and Grandma Betty.
Well, I'm lucky, I think, to come from a legacy of strong women, and I thank my mother Elizabeth because she did I think a pretty good job. I'm remembering my grandmother, Connie. I called her Mimi. She bought me a guitar when I was 12 and gave me guitar lessons and tennis lessons and really got me. She started me on a great path. And my aunties who adored us, gave us all kinds of presents every Christmas. And my other grandmother who lived near the beach and would take us down to the beach with a thermos of sherry. She was for her. I bless them all, and my mother, Uni.
My mother had 5 sisters, and they all tried to rear me and tell her what to do. So you know why I'm so mixed up. But there were, I had one aunt that lived to be 101, and she St. Peter will be waiting for her, or he was waiting for her, I'm sure. But anyway, I came from a good family, and my mother was fantastic.
Anyone's welcome to pass if it makes you nervous talking into a microphone.
Okay, my mother, it was the great mother I had. In my family, we are 12 brothers and sisters. Wow. And that lady there cooked for everybody. Wow. And I miss my mother.
Some of you have met my mother, Margot, and she's a bit of a character. I'm going to see her, I think, probably in about 2 weeks. But I also want to acknowledge her 3 sisters and her mother, Katie, who also had sisters, so lots of women in my family. My paternal grandmother, Mildred, unfortunately her name is escaping me at the moment. Her great-grandmother had 16 children that lived, and the 16th was my great however many grandmother. So I think that's pretty cool. So what an interesting line of women, and I'm proud to be carrying that on.
Thank you, Leslie.
Besides my birth mother, who did her best with me, it didn't always show, but she did her best, and I'm doing my best. Well, maybe I'm not, but I would like also to honor my own daughter, Amy, who grew up in a dysfunctional family and turned out to be one of the best parents I've ever seen. She has overcome a lot. And I would like to honor Beth, who went out of her way to make Amy feel a part of the new family that we formed together. Thank you, Beth.
I'm remembering and giving grateful thanks to my mother, Eleanor, who lost her mother at an early age and then was raised by her great aunt, Matilda. And thinking of them, I'm thinking of my wife, who is deceased, who was a wonderful mother to our 2 children, and my daughter, Elizabeth, who's a wonderful mother to her 2 children, and my daughter-in-law, Sarah, wonderful mother to 2 more children. And I'm thinking of my grandmother, Jenny, who she was the best cook in the family. We always loved going to her house for Sunday dinner. Let's see. My co-grandparent, Beth, wonderful mother and grandmother. And see if I've missed anybody. Oh, Edith. My wife's mother, Edith. What a lovely woman she was. And When my wife is going through her cancer treatments, we got a cancer cat, and we named her Edie after Edith, my wife's mother, and Eleanor, my mother. So we had a cat named Edie, who also was a mother. So many mothers, and grateful for them all.
Thank you.
So grateful for my mom, Elizabeth, and she was always telling crazy stories, which we all enjoyed, and she was a very caring mother. And I'm so thankful too for the other mothers in my life, my grandmothers, both Ethel and Betty, and then I'm amazed watching my sister's children be mothers, and my sister her children believe she was the best mother they could have possibly had, which I believed so too. Anyway, and then one of my favorite teachers, who was certainly a mother to everybody who took her class, and she was a home ec teacher in high school. So I'm just, and there's so many more. So that's just a few. So thank you, one and all, for the love that you've given to everyone, to all of us throughout. And I'm sure you're still giving that love in the heaven above. So thank you.
Thank you, Liz.
I didn't have one of those sweet, gentle mothers that a lot of you had the advantage of, but I was thinking of that and feeling really sorry for myself, and then I remembered that when I was close to 30, I met an amazing woman, and she was a transactional analysis therapist, and I got into therapy for almost 10 years, and she remothered me. She took me through all the developmental stages over and over again until I felt whole. And I'm so grateful for her. She was the most loving, amazing woman I've ever met. And the voice I hear in my head more than anyone else is hers. And I'm so grateful.
I have the pleasure today to remember my mother, Audrey, who's having Heavenly Mother's Day, and my grandmother, Leona. The two of them were a force in my life. My grandmother provided the instrument, and my mother provided the lessons for me to take piano and to also explore my voice for music. I also want to acknowledge my mother-in-law, who was a great grandmother to my son and helped me mother him while I was working as a young mother myself. I also want to extend thanks to my adoptive mother, Diana, who has reached out to me this morning, a wonderful friend of the family that has embraced me as her daughter. And for all those women out there who have stepped into mothering roles, whether it's aunts or grandmothers or sisters, or those who will reach out and remother those in marginalized situations where they've been separated from family and they need that role in their lives. So I want to acknowledge those people too. I've been richly blessed by the women in my life, and it is my pleasure to be able to do that to others whenever possible. So great role models.
Thank you, Susan.
I'm going to try to be brief. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers in here, first of all. And my mother was born into a large family. She had 4 sisters, including a twin, 2 brothers. And to be brief, my father passed away when I was young, so I had a stepfather. There's a reason I'm going to tell you all that. So my mother was moving all up and down the East Coast because he was an aviator. So family had come from Carter County, had been here since the Revolutionary War on one side, and before that on the other. So Carter County means something to me. But I've got lots of cousins, lots of family still here. I said all that to say this. My mother passed away in 1997. In the early to mid 80s, I had a African American church that I went to, and there was a African American lady there who took me under her wing. And until 2018, when she passed away, if I had to call her at 9 o'clock at night, she didn't mind. If I called her at 9 o'clock in the morning, she didn't mind. And so she was at my actual mother's funeral, and I moved away for a few years and came back, and she was there. And anyway, she was a solid Christian and put me on the right tracks of that type thing, and with my faith at least. So overall, it's been a good ride. At this point in time, I'm very happy that I had both of those women in my life, and it's good to be here this morning. Happy Mother's Day again. Thank you.
Mother's Day's always been an exciting day for me because I lived in the UK for 25 years, and they have a different Mother's Day. Theirs is back in March, and so I was constantly calling back and forth, kind of surprising people when I lived over there. I'd call my mom and my auntie and my sister and anybody who, if my grandma was alive, and it was always a surprise, so it was always a blessing, right? And so today, now that I'm living back in the U.S., I was able to surprise all my British friends, my British girlfriends back in the UK, and wish them Happy Mother's Day, and also some of the granddads, because you know, our kids are all having children and babies, and it's a really special day for everybody, right? You get to think about everybody that you love, your mom, your dad. And I was also able to reach out to my nieces who have had their first baby this year, and also my cousins who their children are just graduating high school, and it's all super exciting, right? It's a great time to encourage our women in our lives. You know, our moms, they know we love them. My aunties, they know we love them. You know, my grandmas, they're all passed. They know we love them. But it feels super special to encourage the women who are still in our lives today, and tell them what a great day, what a great job they're doing, because we don't hear that enough, do we, from our friends and family and ourselves. So happy Mother's Day to everybody, you know, men and women. Yeah.
Okay, where do I begin? So I think the thing I'm most grateful for is having been birthed and nurtured by Mildred Elizabeth Johnson. She wasn't really a touchy-feely type person. She didn't really tell us she loved us or hug us, but she was the most nurturing woman. When she passed, it's like all of my friends considered her, you know, a nurturing, mothering influence. But she was just an incredible woman. She was strong, she was resilient, she was just an excellent role model. Later in her life, she became ill and she lost a leg. And at the time, I had just had a car accident and was dealing with a mild traumatic brain injury. But I used to have to fly back and forth to Phoenix just to take care of her. I would fly and go straight to the hospital just to sit with her all night, and it was just something that I had to do. She finally passed, and I was talking to her on the phone, and she was in the hospital, and she said, "Pat, I'm going home." And I didn't know which home she meant. But I was at the airport, and by the time I landed back in Colorado, she was gone. she was gone. But she comes back to visit me and get on my case. She was the type that would kick me in the butt when I wasn't doing what I needed to do, and she still comes through telling me to get my act together.
Well, I'm thankful for my grandmother, Bess. She was one of the first ones that introduced me to the love of the outdoors. And of course, my mom, who transitioned last year, and for her understanding of all that I had gone through all my life and accepting. That was the big thing. I'm also thankful for my spouse, who passed away 6 years ago now, the mother of my children, who also understood, accepted, and even though she was my spouse, she was a mother too. And I'm thankful for my two daughters, who are also mothers, and all the mothers that have influenced my life.
So my mom was a intelligent, strong, vibrant woman, and I guess I can just sum it up by saying that I'm grateful for her. She gave me wings and then let me fly.
If you want, you can pass it.
It's not that I don't want to, I just get very emotional and I can feel everybody. So my mother's name is Joy. See, I told you I probably can't even get through it. Almost lost her last year for the first time. Being in the hospital ever in my life. And she was in the hospital from heart stuff. And I kept feeling like her soul wanted to leave. And just on the third day she was in there, I felt, and it was because it was the weekend that she was there longer, to do Reiki and every other thing that comes through me. And Jesus came through and healed her. And they told her they had done a scan. I don't remember which one because she had two different ones. And the tech told her that they were going to tell her that she had damaged her heart because her heart was beating 222. Anyway, so it came through me and she said she felt it and she felt peace she never felt in her life, and I couldn't understand why I hadn't done it from the get-go, because that's my nature. But anyway, long story short, she's here today, and she lives near Charlotte, and she's a wonderful mother. She did the best she could in the circumstances of my father and what he did to me and her. But anyway, so her and then my grandmother Jacqueline, who spent every dime she could to get me a walking doll when I was little. We didn't have a relationship, but I remember that, her trying, and my other grandmother that we lived with for 8 years. And I have a spiritual mom named Martha, who lives in Florida now, but I'm grateful for all of them and grateful for all of you. I'm glad to be back here again. So anyways, yeah, I told you I was going to fall.
I'm honoring my mom, Kathy. She was a great mother. We, as a family, moved around a lot because my dad worked for IBM. I've been moved. And she was the glue that held us all together. So, happy Mother's Day in heaven, Mom.
Oh, and I forgot to say that the scans, when the doctor saw them on that Monday, there was nothing. Absolutely nothing on either of them that both techs said there would be.
I
guess she just, okay, there. Everybody knows that this is my mom. And she is an amazing, the best mom in the entire world. Like, she's always been there for me. You know, I've been in the hospital, I can't even count how many times. And as soon as I've called, she will just drop whatever she's doing and be right there. I had all these thoughts and what I was going to say when I got this, and now I can't think.
Thank you, Rachel.
Anyway, she's amazing. All right, go ahead, Mom.
Thank you for bringing this subject up. You know, it's amazing how limited your thoughts could be, and then as we're sitting here and everyone's telling their who their mothers were, whether they were birth mothers or whatever, the first person that came to mind for me was a woman that I met when I was 18 years old when I married her son, and her name was Evelyn. And she adopted me as her daughter. And even though years later I divorced him, I never divorced her. She was always there supporting me and loving me for many, many years. And her sisters, Dolores and Charlotte and Mildred, they just had a wonderful, wonderful family. And they all embraced me and took me under their wings. My own mother, my birth mother, Doris, of course I'm going to honor her, and her sister, Mary. My grandparents, my grandmothers, I should say, Gladys and Margaret. And I'd like to mention my sister-in-law, Debbie, who's not here. I would like to just honor her. She gave birth to my two nephews, who I will not mention. No. But
Debbie was like a mother figure, too, to me.
yeah, Aunt Rachel saying Aunt Debbie was there. She was like a mother figure to her also. And there's just so many women that have touched my life over the years that I probably, if I would sit down and really just think of all of them, the list would be endless, would just be endless. And thank you.
Thank you, Peggy. How about Betsy or Deidrey online? Let me see. I can't see who else is on just yet. Let me get to my gallery view.
I am Todd.
Hey,
This is
Norma.
Hey, yeah, I'm totally blessed. My mother was not a huggy, loving person. I probably hugged more because she wasn't that way, but she helped me raise my children after the divorce. So for that, I am eternally grateful. It's really difficult. You don't have children with the idea that you're going to raise them by yourself. So she stepped in on that, and for that I am eternally grateful. I have to honor my abuelitas, my abuela Fela, who was not my blood grandmother, but was the only grandmother model that I had. And she is the one that I model my Casa Abuelita project here in North Carolina. Come into my home and just feed me everything that I absolutely want to have and spoil me and just know that you are loved. And the hugs that obviously I never got from my mother. So Casa Abuelita is my abuela Fela's legacy to me and to the moms that we're serving. And I have to kudos to the moms that I've been blessed. Now we're at 14 moms that have been part of Casa Abuelita, and I won't name them all, but having a child with special needs creates a special mother. And these moms are just incredibly blessed and blessing all of us because of their courage and their tenacity and their willingness to hug these children. So thank you, Todd, for letting us share these really awesome women that are here, are in our lives everywhere.
Absolutely, Norma. Thank you. Deidrey, Dawn, I see you're online. Betsy's online. Joanna's online. Would any of you like to share? Betsy, you've unmuted.
Thank you. I'll echo what Norma said, that this is a fabulous opportunity. I too didn't have a touchy-feely mom who hugged and all that, but she showed her love in so many ways. And she never used the words, I love you, until she was on her deathbed, and her last words out of her mouth with her dying breath was, I love you. And it started a cascade in my family for people to finally be able to say, I love you. So, greatest gift I've ever been given.
Thank you, Betsy. Very good, yay.
Yeah.
Dawn, I think you're reaching for the unmute button. Hey, Dawn.
Hi. My mother was mentally ill, and back then there were no medications or even treatment. So there was a lot of trauma. I've spent my life recovering from that trauma, but it was not her fault. And I guess it's taken me to age 60 to really have compassion for her. And to realize that I'm not going to say she did the best she could, but she was who she was. And it did make me a really conscientious mother. So I prepared for my daughters, and I was just very conscious about how I wanted to raise them. And excuse me. And I loved being a mother, still do. And I'm grateful for the opportunity to be a mother and to be able to do better. I wasn't born with the same affliction that she was, thank God. And I also just want to acknowledge there were two women. Well, I've had several friends and we've mothered each other along the way, but there were two in particular, and they were both single moms of two boys, and I was a single mom of two girls. And we co-parented together and nurtured each other. And one of them in particular, Beth Niver, she passed. Gosh, it's been about 8 years now. Can't believe it. Anyway, Beth was just one of my best friends and was a wonderful mother. And I just want to wish her a happy Mother's Day in heaven, and all the other mothers, happy Mother's Day.
Thank you, Dawn. So I know that Joanna is online and Carolyn is online. They have not unmuted. And I know that Nick can hear my voice, and if Nick wants to come out and speak into the microphone, he can, but that might embarrass him. He's welcome to. Or we'll turn it over to Deidrey, who might want to say something. Yes? No? Maybe?
Yes.
Hey, Deidrey.
Hi, Todd. Well, I want to honor the mother who gave me life. Her name is Philomene. And the mother who carried the torch after, Léonie's Francois. She was the one who raised me, supported me, and loved me tirelessly, even when I struggled to see it or to see her sometimes. And, and recently, of course, her dropping everything to just help me once again when I suffered this concussion. Her name means lioness. And she is still the village Mother Teresa, kind of blessing everybody and providing for all the village cubs in Micoud, St. Lucia. I also honor my grandma. My grandma had the best elbow nubs, just the best. I love the skin on her elbows, and she never, ever got tired of me playing with her elbow nubs. So I'm so grateful for that.
Thank you, Deidrey. That gave everyone a chuckle. And it reminded me, so many people touched on things that reminded me about my life. And your grandmother's elbow nubs reminded me of my great-grandmother and getting a kiss and being scratched by her whiskers. I mean, but it's true. This is the great grandmother that when she was in the hospital for the last time, they brought her a glass of water, and she said, "What is that for?" And they said, "Well, it's for your teeth, Miss Humphrey." And she said, "My teeth?" And they said, "Yes, you cannot sleep with your teeth in your mouth." And she said, "Well, I've been sleeping with them for 86 years. I don't see why I can't tonight," because she did not have dentures, and she had the most beautiful teeth. Anyway, but she also had chin whiskers, but that's, it's been a long time ago. Thank you all. I know that was not something that we're accustomed to doing here at Crystal Coast Unity. And I felt a need to offer people a chance to speak today. And so, thank you for speaking the names and the memories to honor such wonderful people. And Deidrey just said, blessing the mother who gave her life. I don't even know who that woman was for me. And yet I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful that my sister is an amazing mom, even though she doubts herself a lot. And so thank you all for being a part of Crystal Coast Unity and bringing this energy of love and nurturing and community together in such a beautiful way. And so let's all take a moment, and if you're willing to close your eyes or soften your gaze for just a moment, and shift all of your awareness and your energy into your heart center. And just focus on gratitude and on love. For the many women who have been named here this morning that have helped shape our lives. And because they have shaped our lives, they are shaping the life of Crystal Coast Unity. We know that at the level of spirit, as Ernest Holmes said, that there is only one life, God's life, and I am living it now. And so the life of this community is tied to the life of every mother that has touched a member of this community, whether they were a biological blood mother or whether they were a loving, mothering, caring soul, regardless of gender, that showed up to hold the space of nurturing, of compassion, of care. And so for all of those women and for each and every mother that is in this congregation, we give thanks. We love you, we bless you, we appreciate you, and we behold the Christ you are. This truth we name and claim in the name and as the nature of the living Christ, and so it is, and so we let it be. Amen. Deidrey, do you have another song for us?
Absolutely, Rev Todd. Absolutely. Let us sing this one together with me. If you will get the hang of it, we're going to start with mothers, then women, and then angels. Here we go. There's so much gratitude in my heart today for all the mothers who've paved the way. There's so much gratitude in my heart today. Oh, thank you. You bless my life every day. There's so much gratitude in my heart today for all the women, for all the women who've paved sometimes those who mother can be male. There's so much gratitude in my heart today for all the angels who've paved a way. There's so much gratitude in my heart today. Oh, thank you. You bless my life every day. You bless my life every day.
Thank you, Deidrey. I guess I should get going and give you a message before it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon. If anybody has lunch plans and you have to get up and go, I won't take it personally. I know that I get long-winded sometimes. But clearly, I'm not the only one. Very good, very good. Yay! As I've been planning this series and I've been contemplating this next talk, it just happened to coincide with Mother's Day, and reminded me of Mother Mary. And you know, Mary, who is, you know, a teenage girl who gets visited by an angel and said, "Hey, you're going to have a baby." And all of the implications of being a single mother, a single teen mother, who is engaged to someone, and what, you know, well, I saw this skit where a guy comes in, you know, and he's dressed in the biblical wear, and he comes in and he's got a pie. And his wife goes, "Well, where did that pie come from?" And he's like, "I baked this pie." "No, really, where'd the pie come from?" "I baked the pie." "You didn't bake that pie. I baked the pie." And Mary goes, "You clearly did not bake that pie. We don't have an oven." And he said, "Exactly. Do you see how this looks?" You know, she stood in her truth. And if you leave with nothing else today, leave with just this glimmer of how important being willing is in the face of uncertainty. So the past several weeks, we have been waking up to this life that we say that we want, and we've looked at the gap between what we agree with and what we believe. And we've looked at our comfort zones. We've looked at the identity, who we think we are. We've looked at our avoidance patterns. And eventually, every spiritual journey, every single one, comes to the moment where there is a choice that changes everything. A choice that changes everyone. It is that choice that changes the rest of our lives. And what I have learned, what I know, is that awareness of the truth is not enough. At some point, you must choose to take action. Agreement can inspire us. I agree with this, and that is so inspiring. I'm inspired to be a better person. But it is the point of decision where transformation begins. The decision to take action. See, I don't believe that any of us is lacking insight. I don't believe that any of us don't actually already know the next step. If you've been spending any time in prayer and meditation, I think that you know the next step, these things that we are called to do. And what they are lacking is decision. Sometimes we lack deciding. Right? It is that decision that makes the difference. And for some of us, it's a daily decision to not do the thing. right? So, I decided on April 11th in 2020 to stop drinking. And it's been sometimes it's nothing I think about. In other weeks, it is a daily decision that I'm not going to do that. Smoking, you make a decision to stop. I had to make a decision about transparency. I want to be transparent. And so am I agreeing with the idea of transparency, or am I living into it? Because agreement can be inspirational, but decision making is transformational in our lives. So, for some of us, it's that we know that we need to have that difficult conversation. We know we need to do it. It's difficult. I'll project myself onto the whole world that sometimes having that conversation to set a boundary is very difficult. You ever had that issue? Sometimes it is it's knowing that we have this pattern that we need to release, and yet we don't release the pattern, right? Sometimes it's I just need to begin. I just need to start. And starting can be so overwhelming for us at times. And then, sometimes we just know that we know that we know that we need to stop waiting. And yet we wait. We pause. We don't get going yet. Clarity. Right? Clarity without choice changes nothing. We can be clear on everything, crystal clear. We know that we know that we know, but we don't do anything, and therefore nothing changes, right? If we keep doing the same thing over and over and over again, nothing changes, and by definition, that means that's insanity. If this spiritual path that we are walking, if these spiritual teachings are true, something must change if we make a decision to step into this truth. Not just agree with it, but to live from it. Right? We saw that in Mary's willingness to, okay, I'm going to carry this baby and we'll see what happens. And this point of willingness shows up. One of my favorite places where it shows up is the story of Peter. Remember Peter? They've all 12 of the disciples have been hanging out there with Jesus, and he's teaching the multitudes, and he feeds the 5,000. Remember all this? And then at the end, Jesus is like, the people that don't really like me all know where I am by now, so we probably need to leave. So he goes up on the mountain, right? He goes into a higher state of consciousness. That's what that is metaphysically. He goes into a higher state of consciousness, and he directs his 12 disciples, go get in that boat and go across to, this other place. Okay, right? Everybody knows the story because eventually, the waves are going, and the rough seas, and then they're sitting in the boat, and they see this specter on the water walking around. And Jesus goes, calm down, y'all, it's just me. All right, I might be paraphrasing a little bit. It's just me. Ultimately, this is not a story about walking on water. This is a story about making a decision. Peter's in the boat. The storm is real. The fear for all 12 of the disciples is real because, the boats are rocking, right? The wind is blowing. The waves are pretty big. And Peter does not step out of the boat because he feels certain. Unity teacher Ed Rabel reflected on the story, and he points out to this insight. Peter did not wait until the fear disappeared before he stepped out of the boat. Lord, if it be thou, bid me to come unto thee upon the waters. And Jesus says, come. And he is still afraid, and yet he steps out of the water. Steps out of the boat into the water. That is probably one of the most important spiritual truths that we can come across in this journey that we're on. Transformation rarely begins when the fear disappears. It begins when something deeper than fear becomes more important. When something truer than what appears to be real, we know is true. If that's you, call me forward. See, the being in the boat, metaphysically, the boat is our individualized consciousness in the sea of life. And sometimes you go up and it feels really high and it's great and it's wonderful, and then the boat goes down and you're in the lows, the depths, the despair, the anguish, the fear, the sadness, the grief, and then you're up again. And that's what life is. It's rocking the boat, your individualized consciousness with all of your 12 faculties, your 12 powers, sitting there in your individualized conference, and it takes faith that says, hey, if that's really you, call me out, and then our willingness to step forth. Right, we step out of our individualized consciousness into this sea, and you know, so many times when we talk about this story, or you've heard about this story, that it becomes, you know, that you begin to sink. Well, it's not that you begin to sink. The thing is that you call forth. When you need the help of the Holy Spirit, you call out, help me. Jesus walks up, grabs him, and they get in the boat. Jesus gets back in the boat with him. You invite the Christ into your individualized consciousness. You're already an individualized consciousness. You bring your awareness to the presence of the Christ in you. Just making that decision transforms everything. See, the boat is familiar, it's predictable. It's an identity that we know. There are patterns there that we understand, right? But in this boat, we are constantly rowing against the wind until we invite the Christ presence in, and then we just flow. We become just completely unaware of the waves, because we are held up by unformed substance. We are held up by truth. But we need that perfect idea that lives in the mind of God of who we are. We need to invite that into our boat, into our consciousness. Transformation will never happen while we stay in the boat, until we step out and invite in the living truth. We invite in the light and the life of God. And for me, the obstacle of that has been, I don't feel ready. Have you ever not felt ready for what life is calling you to do? Have you ever felt not ready for receiving the life you say you want? Readiness is a myth, I think. I think being ready for this experience of transformation is a myth, and that what is more important is willingness. Willingness to take that step, that willingness to make a choice for transformation. And we've talked these past 4 weeks. We've talked about all these things that we can do that move us in the direction of having a transformed life, of actually experiencing the life that we say we want. We've come to this clarity that peace is not the absence of conflict, but the presence of Christ in me, while everything else around us is exactly as it is. And some of that is not calm, does not appear peaceful. And yet we can be peaceful in the eye of that storm. It is our willingness that matters. In reflecting on the first chapter of James, Charles Fillmore was asked, why is the hearer who is not a doer self-deluded? And this is in reference to verse 22. Be doers of the word and not hearers only, deluding your own selves. Be doers of the word and not hearers only, deluding your own selves. Man does not develop according to his passive thinking and understanding, but according to what he applies to both. To hear and understand truth without trying to apply it practically is to shun spiritual reality and become withered fruit on the tree of life. It's not enough to know the truth. We must put the truth into action in our lives. We must be willing to make a choice. Truth will not be fulfilled by admiration and not by agreement. Truth becomes alive through expression, through us committing to it and then living according to that truth. And so every week I've been giving you a suggestion, an idea of something to do. And so this week it's another practice. I want you to pick one thing that you already know is aligned, that you've been waiting on. Or I'm not ready for that. And I want you to act on it. Because here's what I know about each and every one of you. You were born ready. You were born ready for this transformation. And every single thing that has happened in your life, from the amazing mothers that you have known and the not so amazing mothers that you have known, they have all prepared you, the fathers too. But this has gotten you to the place where it doesn't take more reflection. It doesn't take any more certainty. Now is the moment. You were born for this. You were born ready. And if this teaching, if this truth, if these 5 principles and these 12 faculties of spirit, if this idea that there is a perfect idea of you in the mind of God waiting to be expressed, if all of this is true and you step into following this spiritual truth as a way of life, then something must change. And the life that you say you want, it may just be waiting right there on the other side of that decision. I keep trying, and I don't do it perfectly yet. I can't say that I have released all the fear that exists in my consciousness, because sometimes it's still there. but show up with willingness. Willingness to be transformed. What step have you already known and you are now willing to take? What angel of the Lord has shown up in your life and you have heard the call of what you are to do and you have said, I'm not ready yet. Do that because you were born ready. And if this is true, something must change. And so, again, happy Mother's Day. That's what I was asked to share. Thank you, friends, for hearing me.
Thank you, Rev Todd, for your amazing messages. I love your messages. Okay, let's do this one. We're going to have a little fun with this one. And I hope you will join me once you get the hang of it. You got to walk the walk, not just talk the talk. 'Cause talking the talk ain't the same as walking. Walk the walk, not just talk the talk. 'Cause walking the talk is gonna take some walking. Now please don't bite your tongues off, okay? Are you ready? Here we go. You got to walk the talk, not just talk the talk. 'Cause talking the talk ain't the same as walk. You gotta walk the talk, not just talk the talk. 'Cause walking the talk is gonna take some walking. Whoa, whoa, we've got to walk the talk, not just talk the talk. 'Cause talking the talk ain't the same as walking. We've got to walk the talk and not just talk the talk. 'Cause walking the talk is gonna take some walking. Whoa, 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 now we're gonna sing I've got to. I've got to walk the talk, not just talk the talk. 'Cause talking the talk ain't the same as walking. Gotta walk the talk. I'm gonna talk the talk. 'Cause walking the talk is gonna take some walking. Whoa, whoa,
Thank you, Deidrey.